Hello. So, this is probably going to be very confusing to whoever's watching, and the reason as to why I'm saying this is because, at first, I wanted to make a Peacekeeper guide. I also wanted to kind of just record dual videos and give some live commentary on Peacekeeper. I realized both of those do not work out for me, and there's a big reason as to why. I have problems with Peacekeeper due to how she's balanced and how she has been balanced in the past. And so instead of just sitting on my ass and just giving very little in forms of commentary, I thought I would try and do an analysis video on my recent matches with Peacekeeper. I say recent, these are actually a few days old because I've been trying to get off my ass and actually make this. So, before I start, full disclaimer, this is not meant to be a Peacekeeper guide at all. There are no relevant Peacekeeper guides out there at the moment, none that actually teach you how to use the character from what I've seen. Because if you just search a Peacekeeper guide and look at the first three results, one of them is by somebody who doesn't play the game, the other is right after her rework and is really just reading over the moveset, and the third is just a fucking meme. So, Peacekeeper guides are in short supply, I suppose. So, no disclaimer. Hindsight is 2020. Everything that I say is, of course, from the perspective of after watching these duels and after after watching them a few times, shall I say. So, it's going to sound like, oh, he could have done this or this. That isn't me saying that he should have done it, is that he could have, or she. In different situations, people could have done different things, is basically what I'm saying. And this also applies to me, which is why I say hindsight is 2020. If you don't get what that means, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Alright, so, let's start. The first match was against a Lawbringer. He was 100% new to this game. I didn't know it at first, because I'm from console, and I'm only rep 12. I had 60 reps on console, and I keep running into other console players. So I thought maybe this Lawbringer was also from console. It kind of takes me a while to realize that he isn't, and I'll tell you at what point I think that is. Here, I should not have gotten that guard break, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he recovered enough to counter guard break me, but it didn't work out. I do realize very early on he's just randomly throwing out attacks. He's always twitching his guard around. I don't think he has any reason to be doing this just because he doesn't have a reflex guard. He has a static guard that stays there. I keep trying to deflect him, and I'm trying to bait him out into parrying my thing because I think, well, he's going to try and parry this because it's so easy. This is when I realize that he's new to this game or has no idea what's going on. I think he was trying to go for the impaling charge, but my dodge attack was faster, and not to mention, when he ran towards me, he locked on. As soon as he locks on, impaling charge is just out of his moveset because it's an out of lock move. So, while this match is not really substantial in terms of showing off PK, what it does show, in my opinion, is possibly how PK was perceived during Season 1. Deflect, because he finally allowed the let go. But a lot of people complained about Peacekeeper in Season 1. A lot of people said Bleed was overpowered. It wasn't. It was actually very weak. It was weaker back then. A lot of people thought Bleed was overpowered. A lot of people thought Peacekeeper was overpowered. Peacekeeper did have kind of ridiculous damage, but look at the game now. You see people just doing 30 damage from neutral all the time. It's kind of insane how far we've come. My dodge attack finally landed, thank God. PK's dodge attack is ass. Deflect because he did light after shove. I keep fucking up my deflects, keep getting hit by shit I shouldn't be getting hit by. He dodged backwards, so my guard break's gonna hit. And watch this. He tries to go for an impaling charge again. He didn't have enough distance, and as far as I'm concerned, he might have locked on again. And, out of stamina light just beats everything, of course. Not really. I only do out of stamina light when I think I'm fucked. When I think tossing out the light and getting parried would probably be better than anything else. Granted, this guy parried me once, I want to say. Parry punish fucks up because his attack actually hits the wall, and he keeps dodging backwards. This is going to be a problem for him. And as well as he keeps throwing the side lights. Lawbringer is a very weak character, much weaker than Peacekeeper in my opinion. The only thing he really has above her is great defense. And I keep trying to guard break him and doing other stuff, but at this point I just start bullying him. I just start hitting him up with all my attacks. He has no idea what to do against me. He's gone for a guard break like 3 times at this point, and he's dodging backwards. And he died there for this reason. He quit. I don't want to say I don't blame him, but at the same time, he had no idea what he was doing. And it's fine. So, that ended up happening. Nothing was really gained or lost from that. Next match, Shigoki. He's rep 27, I want to say, overall. Full disclaimer, this guy rocks my shit. And in my opinion, the reason as to why he does is because PK is in a shitty state and Shigoki is in such a good state. I keep dodging, he keeps hitting me with guard breaks. Shigoki is gonna hard counter PK very easily for one big reason. There's one of them. PK's moveset is not amazing, and Shigoki's moveset is now amazing. And the reason as to why Shigoki is a counter to PK is not only look at all that fucking health, look at all that fucking hyper armor. He has a, if you really want to call it that, a 33, 33, 33 off of heavy. So, when he does a heavy, he can either let it rip, go into Demon's Embrace, or guard break. And since PK has to be so close, almost all of those are going to land if you go for any of the options. I should not have gotten the second guard break. I have no idea why I did. I want to say he dodged, but I couldn't tell at the time. And I actually started doing work on him. I haven't lost any health at this point, but then this happens. Barely hit the wall at the end, and now he's back in stamina and has half his health. And now he has more health than me. So I have to deal with heavies, hyper armor, and healing grabs, and light attacks with hyper armor. I keep dodging, because PK would not win a fight against this guy. Though, I come close to it. But, hyper armor on light attacks. If that wasn't the case, I would have won that round, in my opinion. I don't think any character should have hyper armor on light attacks. And yes, I am going to bitch and moan because, okay, Shigoki, his light attacks are already uninterruptible. And Berserker also has hyper armor on light attacks in the 40 milliseconds, which is kind of ridiculous. I hit him with a few good hits. I probably could have let that heavy hit. I don't think so, though. Because I was moving backwards during the time. I think it would have whiffed and he would have gotten a free GB on me. But it really does not matter. I don't want to parry any of his stuff because I keep thinking he's going into Demon's Embrace. He guard broke me in my heavy, and this somehow tracked me. I got really angry after this match just because, oh my god, it really shows off PK's weak spots. Here, the recording fucked up. That's my fault. But, at some point in time, Tiandi lost almost all of her health. And I don't know if you really notice it, but, and this is going to become very apparent, Tiandi is really fucking parry hungry. Tiandi is very parry hungry and doesn't remain on the offensive as much as she should. Now, there's a good reason for why Tiandi might not want to remain on the offensive. She either has to do dodge heavies, dodge lights, or the pop strike. Technically, all of which can be dodged except for the dodge light. I zoned him during his thing. I didn't think about it that much. And there. He every time I try to throw out a heavy, he tries to parry you. He just does it every time. He remained on the offensive a little bit, which was fine. And at this point, I kind of realized that he's very, very parry hungry. I kind of didn't think about it at first, but he very much is. He tried to parry my zone at one point, I think. He keeps trying to throw out lights for neutral, so that really doesn't work out for him. And here, I can just heavy soft feint, mix him up. Either go into a guard break or go into a dagger cancel, it doesn't matter. He's so parry hungry, and in my opinion, that's kind of where PK shines with people who want to parry your heavies. As far as I'm concerned, he does not learn his lesson. He continuously tries to parry my heavies, and it does not go well for him. Here, I really can't do much outside of that. I could have gotten the dodge attack when she hit the wall, but it honestly is not worth it. It takes way too much stamina. There, I fuck up because I threw out a heavy. I probably should have thrown out a light, and I fuck up my punish again. And I get guard broken. Here, I wanted to try and deflect her attack, but I didn't know which direction it was, so I tried to read it technically. I don't think you can really read a deflect technically, or read where an attack is going to go and deflect it is what I'm trying to say. Now we just keep trying to throw out lights at each other, and he keeps trying to parry my stuff, except for there. I think that's the one of the few times he doesn't do it. Because this guy was so parry hungry, he ends up paying for it with his health. And here, I think it is. Yeah, he ends up dead. Granted, if he was able to land a light on me, he probably could have landed the palm strike and killed me. But he didn't remain on the offensive. He was happy just sitting there trying to get parries. And that's his fault. Final game. This was up against a Highlander. I do not like Highlander. I have a lot of trouble against him, mostly because kicking the caber is fair and balanced. That's a joke. I know you can backstep light it. And I don't like fighting under that tree because usually I get frame loss. I lose frames. And I tried doing the backstep light. I didn't realize the tree was there, so that kind of fucked me over. Realizing where you are in terms of the map is very important. And this guy starts hitting me with shit because, once again, spacing, I don't realize what's going on. And I was very lucky my dodge attack hit first. And here I start to make a little bit of a comeback. I start to hit him up with lights, hit him up with soft feints. He keeps throwing out like raw heavies, and I noticed this after a while. And then this bullshit happens. And I know that was not a planned crushing counter, because he does not do it for the rest of the game. For the rest of the game, he does not crushing counter me once. So that was a very lucky crushing counter, and that's why I hate bleed, because he would have been dead if it was just straight damage. But whatever. I noticed he stayed in not offensive form. I'm sorry. He stayed in defensive form a lot. I don't know if it's because he doesn't know how good offensive form is or what, but he never wanted to leave defensive form unless he got a parry punish like this. He knew his parry punishes, so that worked out. My fucking phone, god damn it. And I don't know, it was pretty weird fighting him because I really don't fight a Highlander in defensive form unless they're constantly going for crazy counters. He was just doing whatever the fuck. He threw out like 3 lights. I could have parried probably every single. He threw out a 4th. Ooh, I'm getting mad at myself. He knew his guard break punish there. The old season 3 zone attack punish. You don't miss it. No idea why he threw out the Celtic Curtis. There was probably no reason to do that at all. And there was no reason for me to do that dodge attack. But out of stamina light saves the day again. It's probably easier to do that against someone like Highlander, especially because you know when you're out of stamina they're going to try and pressure you. And if they're on low enough health like that, there's absolutely no reason for you to not throw out the out of stamina light. So that worked out for me. He throws out a lot of raw heavies, and I could probably parry. I could probably parry a lot of them, but I just don't. I really don't expect them, shall we say? Because every time I fight Highlander, the reason why I don't like him is because he has insane dodge recovery, and unblockables on command, and fucking a bash that fucking soft feints into CC. You notice that I kind of move forward a bit and I do the zone attack because I don't think I can confidently hit Highlander before he recovers. So, and zone attack's the fastest thing PK has, so I might as well use it. No damage, but might as well do it. And there you just saw probably the best thing to come in the recent PK changes. Fucking heavy on guard break. It only took 9 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, but we could finally do it. I think this is the last match. I don't think there's a 5th round. But I was very lucky that my zone attack canceled fast enough. And there, you just saw kicking the caber, my favorite move in the entire game. He's realizing he can block the dagger cancel, so that's working out for him. So he kind of became a little bit harder to open, unless he did dumb shit like that. And I kept doing it because because he parried me like 3 times in the entirety of this fight. Almost lost my stamina there. That would have been bad. He only parried me 3 times in the entirety of this fight. But I keep trying to go for the heavy guard break. And I tried doing the backstep light again, but I don't think I was moving backwards at the time. I really didn't pay attention. And I'm just waiting for him to bleed out a little bit because I don't want to fight a guy who has a little bit of health. The top heavy, I fucked up the punish. Not fucked up punish. I fucked up my zone attack is what happened. That's what it was. And so I just recovered because I saw him go for the guard break. So zone attack. You can't guard break PK out of a zone attack as far as I'm concerned. So those were my recent matches with PK. So what did we learn about them? PK can easily deal with people who have no idea what they're doing. It's kind of the same mentality as Centurion, if you really want to think about it. She's sort of a noob stomper, but there are far better characters than her. Same thing with Centurion. There are far better characters. They're good. They're amazing in low tier, decent in mid tier, and in high tier, like competitive play, they're completely garbage. It's just the reality of their situation of characters like that. So the Shigoki match. Shigoki, very, very scary now, especially because of his rework. I'm not complaining. I think the rework was actually amazing. It turned a character who's been a fucking meme for the longest time into actually a terrifying opponent. Which, you know, hey, look at that. Ubisoft made a good rework. Fucking last good one was Kente, as far as I'm concerned. What else? The Tiandi didn't remain in the offensive. Very rarely used his bash, which is probably one of the best things in his kit, and did not use the extended dodge at all. Granted, we were in a dual setting. There's not a lot of room for him to dodge. If he went into a wall, I could have just hit him with the top heavy, and it would have, of course, hit him. So Tian didn't remain that much on the offensive. Highlander didn't use offensive form at all unless he wanted to just try and get a kick. He went for kick into Cabra and it only landed once, if I recall. But he was very happy with his defensive form. I don't think he really understands the full potential that Highlander can go to. But I wouldn't know. I can't go into people's mindsets. Hindsight is 2020. You know, I really can't tell these people what they could or could not do. Yeah, at the time, or even now. Maybe I'm completely wrong. They probably have a completely different mindset to what I'm thinking currently. So, I guess PK, smash idiots, can smash idiots. Shigoki's scary. Tiandi needs to at least remain somewhat offensive, and Highlanders use offensive form. I know, I have a friend who says offensive form is cheesy, but look, it's a good form. It's one of the best things in this kit. So, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll probably do more of these, seeing as how these are a lot more enjoyable to do than live commentaries, and I can actually focus on my games and then tell you what was running through my mind at the time. So, stay in school, drink your milk, and have a good day.